Look who's there, guys. Can you believe it? Because I can't. You have got some serious courage, little boy. You really do. Everybody who is joining us for the first time, watching us closely with a little bit of signs of nervousness, so we're not going to reposition at all, with a collar around his neck, is a young male leopard called Sindile. Now, Sindile is the grandson of the Queen Karula, the leopardess that is dominant in this area, and about 10 months ago, while he was just a cub, he caught a dog, a stray dog that had made its way in from one of the surrounding villages. And he caught this dog. The dog was then caught and tested positive for rabies. Sindile was placed in quarantine for 8 months and then released back into the wild with that collar that you see sitting around his neck. I have been looking for this little chap for 2 days now. He's been following his mom around. I said to you I was almost certain in my own mind that it was Sindile that Mvula had chased away from the kill. And I have just found Mvula. Sorry. This is utterly incredible. Sindile's story just keeps getting more and more fascinating. Dave, go. There's a tambuti tree at the back. It's a big tambuti tree. See where the hole in that termite mound is? Go to that hole and then go upwards. Go up into the tree. There's a foot. See the foot? Just in the center of your screen, he just twitched. There's his head's twitching. Go up a bit. There you go. There's Mvula. How incredible is this sight? I can't believe it. The story just gets more and more complex. And Sindile, you are one brave little boy. Because Herbert heard them fighting this morning, and he found tracks of Sindile running to the east. There sits Mvula, king of the castle for now, up in a tambuti tree. I have absolutely no idea where the kill is. I think the kill is beneath him. I think at the base of this tree. I can't see if he's hoisted it or not. He might even be lying upon it in the way that leopards often do when they've dragged it into a tree. I think that kill was Sindile's. I think Mvula stole it and they fought. But they appear to have reached an uneasy peace. This is absolutely incredible. I can't believe this is happening. I nearly said to you guys I'm going to go look for Sindile afterwards. And here they sit, the two of them, not more than probably about 40 meters from each other. I really am utterly blown away by this. I was expecting to find Sindile not far away, but I did not expect to find him at the site itself. Lying up in the drainage line. The two of them are perfectly aware of each other. I'm just going to take my foot off the brake, although it's making me nervous. Put my handbrake up as well. We're on a terrible incline. And there sleeps Sindile, looking thoroughly in one piece. Those bright blue eyes and beautiful face that has become absolutely famous throughout the world. What an incredible tale this little cat has got to tell. I have no idea what is going to happen next. I think that Sindile is chancing it, and I think that Mvula, having recently been involved with a fight with another male leopard, I think he's probably reluctant to press home the advantage unless he absolutely feels as though his kill is threatened. Maurizia? I don't know. Look, Sindile's got a relatively round belly, so he probably had a little bit of time spent feeding on his kill before he was chased away from it. Do I think that he will take back the kill? No, I don't. However, dominant male leopards, and Mvula, I don't know if I would call Mvula a dominant male leopard, but he was a dominant male leopard, certainly in his time. He could even be, it's not impossible, he could even be have a memory of mating with Sindile's mother shadow. He may or may not be the father. I don't think he is, but we don't know that for certain. He was certainly could have been. He was dominant in this area when Shadow was pregnant with Sindile. He could be the father. It's unlikely, but it's possible. You know how that female leopards try and mate with as many males as possible for this exact reason. Our fathers and sons are occasionally seen together sharing kills, not usually at Sindile's age, but Sindile is the exception to every single rule. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. That was a surprise sneeze. I really am absolutely astounded at this. I'm still not entirely sure what to make of it. Look, I mean, he's perfectly relaxed. Let's check him. Let's check him out. Has he got any fresh injuries? It doesn't look like it. He's covered in flies, certainly, and we can't see all that much of him. Herbert said Mvula had a few deep scratches that Brent couldn't see from his angle. But he looks, Sindile from this side looks absolutely fine. And Paul, looking at him from this angle, he doesn't have a full belly. And especially when a leopard is lying on its side, it's harder to tell. I think he probably managed to feed off a little bit of the carcass before he was chased off it. So Paulie does have a roundish belly. He doesn't look hungry. He looks in perfect condition, which is incredible because after 8 months in quarantine, he has somehow managed to look after himself, keep himself safe. It is so wonderful to see him here. There's not even any growling. It's not even like the sighting that you had with Quarantine in Shivambalana, where clearly the two brothers had two brothers from different generations. They clearly had a little bit of an encounter with each other. How incredible is this? The story just gets more and more intriguing. The last time we saw Sindile was with what looked like one of his first reunions with his mother, Shadow. Now, Shadow has a 4-month-old cub with her, a new 4-month-old cub that she's since had in the interim. And the phenomenal thing about this whole situation was that she was calling for her cub. Sindile was responding, and she was then responding aggressively to him, trying to keep him away from the cub. When I found his tracks yesterday, he was absolutely close to where Shadow was. We're convinced that he was following her around, but he's obviously decided to move off into a different area. Now, guys, I do have to get onto the Game Drive channel. I have to update them that there are, in fact, 2 leopards in this sighting, which I cannot believe that this has actually happened. And by the way, the mating lines have been found. They've been found up at Sydney's Dam. Just an update for Brent when he does return to the vehicle. I know he's off walking. Just have a look at Mvula for now. I'm going to try and wait for my opportunity to talk on the Game Drive channel. Stations, there's 2 Madora Ingwe here, Mvula and Sindile. Mvula is up in the Shadulu and Sindile down in the Shkoba. I'm on the eastern side, Orbs. I think there will be visual for 2 vehicles on the eastern side. I can always move around for you, just because they're a little bit separate from each other. Guys, I can't believe this. And at some point we will do a reposition in order to see where the carcass is, because of course that is what it's all about, is where the dead Impala is. There's Mvula. You can really see that he is starting to age just in terms of the yellowing of his teeth. I think Mvula has the most beautiful eyes. Well, I used to think that Mvula had the most beautiful eyes of any leopard I had seen. That was, of course, until Shungile was born. Shongile, Karula's little daughter. And he's got an almost pale blue colour to them. Not that you can see them, of course, through the boughs of the tambuti tree. He's resting up, panting off a full belly. And the question will be, will Sindile be brave enough to go and try and feed off the carcass? He doesn't, to me... Oh, he's now watching Mvula. He's sort of looking up at him, then across at me. He's restless. I don't think his face doesn't look like he's been feeding, although he might have cleaned it off. I actually think he's going to get up and give it a go. You know, that collar might even work to his advantage in terms of protecting, doing the job of an adult's dewlap. Not completely, though. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration. Just by the way, for those of you who are new to this area, look, he is looking. Hoping to share. Here he goes. Okay, this could get very interesting. He's slowly stalking forward. Yes, very subtle, Sindile. Mvula hasn't moved. Ah, there he goes. I think it's his age. I think that it is Sindile's age. Oh, he is. I can hear him down here. Hold on one moment. I'm taking my earpiece out. I can hear him. Where can I hear him? Where's this carcass? Because that's going to tell us where to go. He's feeding. Can you believe it? I can't see him, but I can hear him. Mvula hasn't moved. I'm just trying to lean over to see exactly where he is. But I think... No, he's feeding. I don't believe this. Incredible. Sorry, I'm trying to contort myself here to try and double check, but I can hear the crunching of the bones. The carcass must be in this drainage line. It's the grey hornbill. Mvula hasn't even moved. I think our best approach is from the other side of the drainage line wall here. That's what I think we should do. Right, I'm going to sit back down because I'm currently contorted into a very uncomfortable position right now. Angela's question. Leopards are... Yes. What was that?
You look like you're on a roller coaster.
I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. We're quite uncomfortable here and a little bit concerned. Fortunately, there's a raisin bush if we do just suddenly decide to tilt over and collapse into the drainage system. Here's what I think is happening here. I think it's age. So leopards are territorial, but as with anything, you know that male leopards tolerate females. They will tolerate their sons and sub-adults. If we compare a rhinoceros, an adult male rhinoceros has a territory, and he is totally tolerant of sub-adult right up until adult male rhinos, provided they are not marking territory or showing any signs of dominance. And that is, I think, what we've got here. We've got an old male, an experienced male. We've got a male that is not actually a threat to him in any way. Now, he might have given him a bit of a smack this morning, but beyond that, he is not concerned. He's not threatened by Sindile. The fact that they're sharing food is incredible. We're going to reposition when we go around to the carcass and see if we can't get another view. This is amazing. Let's go across to Brent. And Sindile feeding off the carcass in the drainage line, casting nervous glances up at him, up at Mvula, every now and again. There he is. You'll just see the spots of him as he's clearly feeding. You can see he is. Hello, boy. Something else has occurred to me. Something that we never got to see because it often occurred on Torchwood. But Mvula was actually famous for, not famous for, but we used to hear all the time that Mvula was busy feeding with Quarantine, sharing his kills with Quarantine when he was a little bit younger. Now, Quarantine is Karula's cub, Karula's 3.5, nearly 4-year-old cub. Sorry, I'm being blinded by the sunlight, so bear with me. I'm just blinking quietly. This is the absolute best position that we can get. I might not have any eyesight by the end of it, but if I go any further forward, I am going to be right in Mvula's personal space. I will be right underneath him, which, with Mvula, he's very, very relaxed around vehicles. We probably could do, but do we want to? Because he's clearly shifting around uncomfortably on the Tambuti branch upon which he has found himself. I know our visuals are not fantastic, but this is kind of as good as it gets at this point. And it's the remarkable story behind this and I really am reluctant to go anywhere, because there's a chance at some point that Mvula is going to come down and start to feed. What will happen then, I wonder? I wish, oh, how I wish we could have been here for when Sindile came back. I absolutely would have loved to have known how this situation actually played out. And how Mvula came to be in the most uncomfortable looking place in the entire world. I find it unlikely that Sindile chased him up this tree. Just in terms of size, Mvula might be an older leopard, but he's not small. He's not tall, but he's quite a bulky leopard, and he's got age and experience on his side. I do find it hard to believe that he's up here because Sindile chased him up. Okay, guys, I do have to be on the Game Drive channel. This is going to be a tricky one because we're still feeding. And then, oh, that's the best view of a leopard. We've definitely never had a better view. Over to Brent, whose amorous couple is feeling amorous. Off. And then hopefully I can respond to the person who tried to call me in the first place. Standing by. Yes, we got in. AFM Tax, you're more than welcome to. And if, just let me know when you are at the sighting and I will pull out. Tax, I think your best approach is still from the eastern bank where Aubrey came in. You'll have a view of the young Madora. Affirmative. You'll be able to see him as well. He's up in a Tambuti, but your visual will be probably about 2 out of 5. Tax, I think come west, your clearest view is going to be the young Madora in the Shkova, if he's still there. Aubrey had a clear view of him. Yeah, FM, if you've got no visual from that side, then I'll move out and you can take my spot. One very sleepy leopard with a belly full of food. And the Impala carcass I can see. I don't think Dave can at this point, given our somewhat precarious position in terms of where we are. There we go, there's what's left of the Impala carcass. There's still actually quite a little bit of meat. I wonder who killed this Impala. Was it Sindile or was it Mvula? It's a big male Impala, but then Sindile is certainly a lot bigger than he used to be, which was, I'm sorry, that was not a very profound statement. Of course he is, he grew. That's how aging works. But, no, it's a big Impala. Plenty of meat for 2 male leopards to share, but quite remarkable that they are doing so. And as I said, we will have to leave the sighting, but as soon as we have another spot to come back in, then we will come and rejoin it. I still think we could squeeze ourselves onto the outskirts and perhaps just hang around, because I really, really want to see what happens. There you go, you can see through the branches where he's managed to perch himself. His belly is sticking out and his one leg through the fork of a tree. It's a very interesting position to be in, and we're very lucky to be that our leopards are comfortable enough to allow us to this point. And we're just going to keep speaking very, very softly. And hello to Shenali, who is a viewer watching and wanting to know how much a leopard can eat in one sitting. Well, Shenali, of course, it depends upon whether or not we're talking a male or a female. In the case of a male, they can eat almost up to 20% of their own body weight in one sitting. They get an enormously full belly. And what that means in terms of, let's try and put it into context, is that an adult impala for a leopard of Mvula's size, who is probably up to about, I'd say he's about 70 odd kilograms, so he could eat roughly, what would that be? It would be 70 divided by 5, it would be about 14 kilograms of meat. An adult impala weighs roughly about 50 kilograms, about 100 or so pounds, and a male leopard would probably take about 2 to 3 days to finish that off. Just to give you an idea, I've seen Shadow, just to continue, not Shadow, sorry, Karula, just to continue that conversation. I've seen her eat an entire steenbok in one sitting, which is absolutely incredible, because a steenbok probably weighs, I would say, 15 odd kilograms, 32 odd pounds, maybe a little bit less, but she ate the entire thing from start to finish in one go. And Karula's probably about a 45 kilogram leopard, possibly even less. Oh, whoopsie, we appear to have an approach from a different side. Guys, we are going to have to reposition to make space here. Oh, there are those beautiful eyes. Look at that. That is a truly outstanding view. Incredible. That was an absolutely beautiful view. Wow. See what I mean about Mvula's eyes? Here we go. You're not comfy, boy. Okay, guys, I'm going to reposition. While I do that, I'm going to send you across to Brent.